What's up, Mac Bergson? What's up, Clint Cole, Someway, Wacky Whalen, TPG, Rob Holland in here in the middle of the night, Abraham Perez. Let's see, who else we got? Looks like it might be it. I don't think I missed anybody else. Mac Bergson. Mic isn't working. Alright, we go see. Check that out. I got my charger plugged in. It might have pulled it out. Well, it acts like it's up there. Let's see. What about now? Can you hear me now? Rob said he can hear me. I've got a charger plugged into my phone because I didn't want it to die on me, and the weight of that extra cord sometimes pulls my, I guess, receiver a little bit. Loud and clear. So I'm going to go ahead and start out very beginning. I don't know that I'll have a live next Thursday. Matter of fact, it's pretty probably 99.9%. I won't be able to do it on Thursday. So I will either I've got some videos lined up. I'll either put out a video on Thursday about the same time and do a series premiere so that you guys can have a chat, or if I think I might be able to on Friday or Saturday, I may just wait and do a live on Friday or Saturday next week, because I know for sure I probably won't be able to do one on Thursday. So our tradition, yeah, I'm gonna have to run it next week. I think next week's gonna be a crazy week for me. So I've been filming things and getting things, like that's why I already got 2 guess the trades set up. I did a reload episode this week so that I wouldn't have to wait for the answers next week, because I knew I wouldn't be able to probably film one next week. So that way it worked out. I've got a reload this Saturday, and then I went ahead and filmed the next people's and I've got it scheduled. So I did go ahead and skip ahead of the line. I didn't follow my list because I wanted to get those reloads in. So we got a couple new bags, as far as newer bags from Vito this Saturday. What do you think of the M12 detail sander after having it for a while? Really like it. I actually just used it fine tuning some doors in the quadplex that I was working on just this last week. So far I really like it. Only thing bad is, like, which I mean, you can cut your own sandpaper or do whatever you want to, I guess, but my Home Depot doesn't sell any of the like stuff that's the sandpaper that's actually for it, you know, type thing. So if I want some, I've got to order it and ship it to the store. But that's my Home Depot. They don't carry stuff like that. Friday live, let's go. That's probably what I'll end up doing. I might end up just waiting until Friday, but I'll just see how next week go. I know for sure I probably won't have one on Thursday though. You keep the pack out rolling drawer. Let's see. Yeah, I've got y'all blocked off from being able to see it, I guess. Yeah, I've got it. I actually was back and forth on it. It actually wasn't going to work out for my buddy either, the one who I said in the video that he was been looking for it too, waiting for it to come out. You can kind of see it down there now. It would fit under his cover on his truck, his tonneau cover, but he carries a couple extra, like an extra thing on top of his regular rolling drawer box now, and he didn't want to lose that. So he said, I'm not going to be able to use it probably either. So then I decided I'm going to go ahead and keep it, because in my garage, like I've got, like, some of these are empty that I'm working on what I'm going to do with them. And I've had the Klein sitting over there for a long time, and I just decided it's kind of silly for me, because sometimes I'll put stuff on top of that Klein, then I got to take it all off to get to the stuff I put inside of that, because basically I just use it here in the garage. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it, use it here in my garage, and then for the jobs, like if I want to take a rolling box, I'll just throw that one in the back of my truck. So I did decide I'm just going to go ahead and keep it. How dare you have a life outside of YouTube? Clint said he hacked the M12 Surge for 97. Yeah, he got the M12 Surge, 97 bucks if you hack it with that ratchet. What's up, Apache? Make sure I didn't miss anybody else. Wasn't too happy that you can't lock it. Yeah, I saw that if you put a drawer on top. I've watched a few of the Tech Made Easy guys videos. So he noticed the few things I didn't mention in my video. I don't know if I've got stuff in here to where I'm not going to be able to. You can, I don't have any of those caddies and stuff in here. They're all in my, I only got really the one, but you can snap all those, like a pack out caddies and stuff like that. They actually snap onto these and to the side of the box on the inside of the drawer too. I didn't know that until I watched his video, and then a few of you also commented and told me that. And then I think it was Wacky that told me that, you know, you can't lock the drawer with another set of drawers on top of it because it covers it up, which he shows that in all his videos. I think I also saw in his videos, somebody was asking me if the tray with the handle out of like the regular rolling box. I gave mine to my buddy. He likes those and I don't never use them. So I didn't have one to try out whenever I was filming it, but I think I want to say in that guy's video, I saw it. He had it down inside there, so it should probably work, I guess. The new Milwaukee drawer has some good videos on how to organize it. Mac bought 2 of the Mod Box 1-drawer boxes for $109. I saw that the 2-drawer Klein is on sale at my Lowe's for $169. I saw that today. So at $169, if you bought the $55 adapter plate, you know, you're still getting up there in the 200 something. You're getting close to the pack out price. I'm just curious over time. I've had 0 problems with my Klein adapter. I'm just kind of curious over time how the weather, like cold, hot, and all that affects like that 3D printed plate stuff. I've not had a lot of bigger pieces of 3D printed stuff and stuff that I'm actually clicking stuff into and all that. So I'm curious to see how that holds up over time. I've had 0 problems with it so far though. So today I went and did a job. I also filmed it. It's about I think I've got 68, even after editing and just cutting out stuff, I think I got 68 minutes right now, and I still have to film an intro and an outro, but I haven't sped it up any or anything like that. So I haven't went through all of it. I'm hoping it turns out okay as far as the footage so I can use it. But I've got what I used in the bag today, so I thought I'm going to have to clean it all. So essentially I took this, threw all my tools in it so I could get them to where I was working, and then drug them out and threw it in the back of my truck. And now I got to get them out of here, clean them, and then put them back in my truck where they actually go. But I thought I'd go ahead and take them out a little at a time, and that way I can see which ones, because some of them are going to give it away, I think, or some of the stuff that's in this bag would. So I'm going to pay attention to what I pull out one at a time, and then we'll see if y'all can figure out what it was I did today. 68 minutes. Yeah, I don't think, I'm going to try to not make it be 68 minutes for sure. Can you hack Lowe's deals? I bought a Flex Crown stapler. It came with a free battery there or shipping. Wonder if I could return the battery. I don't know. I've never done anything like that at Lowe's, so I don't know. Jamie True sent me an email. I don't know if any of you are in Flex, you know, pack out type stuff. He got the 3-stack. So like the old rolling box, not a drawer one, but just a rolling box. And then a couple things like whatever they sell in a 3-piece set of Flex. I think he said he got it for like I want to say it was like 136 bucks. Might have been 186. I can't remember which one of the two it was. No 2-minute quickie. No, going into it at the very beginning, based on the call, I thought it was going to be a 2-minute quickie, and it turned into a half-a-day job. Try Lowe's hack. Let us know. Funny cleaning my tools. What's the best tool deal going? I don't really know very many going on right now. I mean, you can do some hacking at Home Depot if you haven't. Every tool that's always hackable at Home Depot, I pretty much own it. So I'm past the point of the hack's helping me out very much until it becomes new stuff. Jamie, 139. Okay, yeah, there you go. I was thinking 139, but then I thought, well, wait a minute. I know you told me like they had some priced at 209, but I was thinking you told me 139, but I couldn't remember it was 139 or 189 or 186 or something like that. I had to have my knee pads on for this job, and you can see how nasty they got. So guess where I was in a house environment. Residential. It was residential. I'll tell you that. So far, these have been okay. I just bought these because they were cheap. My Milwaukee ones broke. They kind of spin around on my knees worse than the Milwaukee ones did. You got floored or concrete. Can you tell me what the swivel is you have attached to your Joey pouch and where to buy? It's called the Pen Pal, and you get it from Holstery. They sell it too. I'll grab one out of my truck real fast. I don't think I've got any that's not in my truck. Now the holster part of it, I probably have to dig around and take it off my vest and all that, but it's called the Pen Pal. So they sell this, and they actually show you to take the clip off and just swap out your clip for this. But I just put mine on top of the clip, so that way I can still use the clip. But this right here slides into a holster, and I know that those are on my vest and my drawers. It'd take me a little while to get those out. But there's a holster basically that accepts these, that they sell with this. And then they also sell pins that go on M12 drills, pretty much every drill, but they are drill specific. Like it's not the same as like a spider drill pin where you go buy a pin and you can put it on multiple different drills, different brands and stuff like that. So pretty much any of the holstery stuff, you can put them on there. So I bought 3 of these so far. I've got 2 Joey pouches with one on there, and then also this nickel pouch. I like all the holstery pouches. Yeah, these right here don't have anything on the crocodile wipes. I'll just tell you, I bought these after watching a YouTube video where somebody was in I think it was overseas, but they are nowhere near as good. Cheap Craftsman tool tote. Lowe's deal of the day. Just went to Lowe's for the first time. Had to travel 2.5 hours. Man. Milo's, if you traveled 2.5 hours to Milo's, it would be pretty disappointing. They don't hardly have anything. And I got so nasty today. Rob Holland, yep, Rob Holland got it. Cellar well, unclogging a nasty drain. Wings and Pizza said attic, but Rob Holland said crawl space. So that's where I was. So that's where the work was done at. For the most part, I did do a little bit of it upstairs, up in the residence, but and these are my specifically knee pads I keep in my truck just to crawl in places like that. But I still go ahead and I might not clean them to where they're spotless again, but I at least get all the junk off of them just because I don't want that stuff in my truck. Did you find Timmy in the well? Was Morgan doing some plumbing under a house? It was not plumbing. I wish it was plumbing. I think that would have been easier. And it wasn't a very the crawl space wouldn't have been nasty except for because of the problem. It was nasty. And then not a lot of headroom. Like if I was sitting down on my butt, my head was between the floor joist type thing. So to get anywhere, you had to crawl. And then even to work, you had to kind of be all hunched or laid on your side or whatever. What's up, Justin? Pen Pal, Mark Clinton, thank you. Clintron. I said Clinton, but Clintron. Yeah, the only place which Amazon has them, but Holstery, it's a Holstery product that they sell for their stuff. They're not super cheap. I ended up buying. I've got several Holstery like older, like a Driver Master and all that kind of stuff. And they're little pen pal mounts, like the thing that you actually slide that in. You can buy just the metal part so that you can, mount one on your workbench or, whatever you want to do, mount them in your van so you can go around and slide your pouches and stuff in it. But because I leave the clip on mine, I'm able to clip mine on my rails. But I just bought some of those and then took my Driver Masters and stuff off and drilled those and put them onto the my older clip. So I didn't, because it was like half the price. I didn't have to spend for all those things. Man, these are nasty. Keep the dad puns coming. Was it woodwork? No, I'll get out some tools here in a minute. Let me get these. This one's almost finally unnastied. Like I said, I ain't cleaning these spiffy because the next place they'll go is in a crawl space. And the crawl spaces in my area are usually not all that great. Let me see what I can pull out. I did use a hammer. Not very much, but I did use a hammer. Only in one specific instance. Guess we need some other thing out of the bag as a new tip. Yeah. So hammer, but not that much. It wasn't necessarily a very important and integral tool within this job. Tape measure. Only a 16 footer. 16 footer is all I needed. I still hadn't taken my other Irwin back and tried warrantying it yet. Fridge water line, no. HVAC drain line, no. You'll get it eventually because I'm gonna pull out some. Oh, this will throw y'all off for sure. 1 1/4" fencing staples. I had some of those, which therein lies the hammer. 1 1/4" fencing staples. Wouldn't have had to use fencing staples. I just so happened to have some fencing staples and it worked for me for what I was doing. So septic tank line pump, no. New or repaired dryer vent, Jamie True. We'll see. We'll see. Here, this, let me see, actually. A broom head. Had to have a broom head. Couldn't have it on the stick. Had to take it off the stick because I'm in a crawl space. Running internet lines, low voltage wiring, thermostat, condensate unit. No. M18 surge. Right now I've got a Malco in it. But I only use this one time. I only use this right here one time. And I wouldn't have had to have the M18. I just grabbed the M18 because it was right there in my truck. And I didn't want to take my surge underneath there. I drugged today. It was bittersweet. Hope everyone's day went well. You bring a snake stick? Nope, no snake stick. Concrete pad? Question mark. No, I was in a crawl space. And it was plastic down and stuff, but it was still messy. Let's set that out. Well, there went my coaster. Broken. All right, let's see. Those will tell you for sure what it is. I don't want to show you them yet. This, the DeWalt little metal shear, didn't end up using it, but took it down there with me thinking I might. So again, I went to my truck and threw all this stuff in here. There was probably even a few things that I might have taken out, like they're not in here, which actually I'm gonna go get one of them because it needs to be clean too. So I went ahead and put them in my truck in a different spot because I used them again whenever I went back upstairs to finish the work. Flashing and rodent fencing, no. Duck work, woodchuck said, possibly. Hiding the body. Where is Miss Maintenance? I think she's getting ready to go walking. I'm gonna grab something out of my truck real fast that I need to clean before I forget. Did use the M18 Rover light the whole entire time. Worked like a champ. No worry about it dying. I'm sticking with 110 volt wiring under the floor. Oh, I get it now. You're saying, where's Miss Maintenance? Did I bury her in the crawl space? It wasn't my crawl space. I would have never done what it started out with in my crawl space. It was a builder special, one of those cheap builder specials that I had to redo. All right, now let's see. Oh, this one won't tell you. Empire digital torpedo level with magnets. Magnets were important. I wouldn't have had to have this for the job in particular, except for, you know me, I had to get it to 0.0, and you will see that in the video if it's good, if the footage ends up being good. Jack up a foundation. HVAC return that was too small. Rob Holland ducks. Never bury your wife in your own crawl space. That's a rookie mistake. That's true. It's true. Extra battery I took just in case. I didn't end up needing that. It should be. M12 crown stapler. Used it quite a bit. Even though this is in my bottom 3 of top M12 tools on my old video, I still use it. It's just not, I just don't use it enough to make it worth the original price. If you get a good deal on it, it's awesome to have instead of having a hand stapler, but certain jobs I end up using it quite a bit. Was old cast iron drain pipe involved? No. I'm gonna need to have Miss Maintenance stop by and say hi now. Let's see what the battery, that's fully charged on that battery. Now we're getting down to the stuff where it should be pretty obvious. There's some extra staples. You probably know what that is. We'll see if you even know what that is. Got some hanger strap. Did use an ink saw. That's hanger strap for like duct work and that kind of stuff. I didn't have to use that in particular for what I was doing. I just have it, so that's what I used instead of something else. I had these, didn't end up using these because this wasn't what I wanted to use, but I had them in my truck, so I threw them down in here just in case I needed to do something temporarily. So that's just your standard full tape. Squeegee, HVAC line set insulating tape. Now this was hanger straps, what it is, like that vinyl hanger strap. Like, and then here's the tape that I ended up using. It's the Nashua full mastic, so it's got the actual mastic on the back side of it. And now the whole entire side of it, from being in that nasty stuff, is solid with lint and junk. Want the black stability? Yeah, I kind of do too. There's no way I can convince myself that I need to upgrade just to get the black. And well, actually, they also have a digital one that's like a very small one now. Like I think the smallest digital one they had before was 16 inches, and I think now they've got an 8-inch one, and I'd like to have it. Pair of straight snips. I probably could have used the curved ones down there for what I did with them, but this is what I didn't want to pack. I tried to take as least stuff. I still got a ton of stuff in this bag, but I was like, whatever it is, I'll be able to do it with these. I'm going to use those. I call it the pipe shrinker. Again, I forget what the name of this is. Y'all told me what the name of this tool is, but I've never called it whatever its actual name is, so I have no idea. Did use those. Matt said ductwork easy. Woodchuck said crimper. Yeah, it's a crimper, but it's called a something else. Like I forget what y'all said what the name of it was, and it made me look it up to see what, because y'all were talking about it whenever we were asking Miss Maintenance what tools were, and it's actually got a specific name, but I can't even remember what it is now. I've never called it by whatever that name was before. I always called it a pipe crimper. And then I'll go get something out of the back of the truck for the final answer, which Jamie True pretty well hit it pretty early on. He was I just didn't say it because I was going to have y'all keep guessing. I got 2.5 pieces of it left. Got to take a couple pieces back to the Deepit. 4-inch. I'll put that back in my truck now. Wacky said dryer vent. Yeah, I think Jamie True said it the earliest on way up there, but yeah, you said dryer vent too. Jamie True said it quite a while. He said it, let's see, new or repaired dryer vent is what Jamie True said up there at the very top. Use 3 in like the olden days and reduce it down to 2. Yeah, so that wasn't why I went there for. It was basically just that my dryer's not doing what it should, and I start out doing things to fix what I assume is just a clogged up dryer vent, and then I crawl under there and it's the builder special floppy flexible stuff and all that. So this job was not supposed to have been a ductwork job. That's what it turned into, and it was not very fun because it was not fun just because of the tight space. I mean, it's not a bad job to do necessarily, but it's just everything was belly crawling and everything else. $225, dang, but well worth it. Justin said it's $225, but well worth it. Max said the black Stabilas come with the free soft case. That's how I justified it. Yeah, you can't turn it down. If they're giving you something free with it, it's like, boom. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, so essentially, anytime I'm going into a crawl space, like if it's not really clean, you know, like if it's going to get stuff everywhere, and this had dryer vent dust, like lint everywhere, and then also just other stuff. I just throw I threw all this stuff in this bag. That way I can just drag it over to wherever I'm working at, and then I start getting it out. And then when I'm done, I just throw this back in my truck. And then when I get home, I do this right here, except just not normally during a live. You upcharge for crawl space? Well, I mean, I just charge whatever I normally charge. You probably could if it's a horrible situation. I for sure would. Like this wasn't like drastically bad. It just wasn't the best scenario, you know, type thing. It wasn't like it was the end of the world type thing. But going in any crawl space is sometimes it's fun. I'd almost rather go in a crawl space though than an attic that has a bunch of hip roofs, like a apartment complex. It's got hip roofs and it's kind of all ground level type thing. Sometimes that stuff is outrageous. I'd 10 times rather just crawl around in a crawl space. At least then it's open and you're not going up and down and over stuff and all that kind of stuff. But this one had it's got that radon barrier and the fan for radon outside. So it at least had plastic down. It's got those little, you know, pipes, the corrugated pipes under that plastic that you got to go over. But then the ductwork for the house is running right down the middle, and it was crazy close to the ground. So you had to squeeze to get underneath of that to get to this other side where the dryer stuff was. Come on, lint in the wall is the best insulation, extra flammable. Home built recently. I think it was a 2005 built house based on, that's what the air conditioner unit is outside. So I'm assuming it's a new unit whenever they built the house, because I looked at their unit one time and it's a 2005. But essentially the dryer vent has probably never really been hooked up the whole entire time that the house has been there. It's just been blowing into the crawl space. Crawl spaces are the most fun. One for me was under a hospital. Had to exhale to be able to move forward. Inhaling meant I was stuck between the ceiling and the dirt. I've been in one like that before. I've been in one where I had to take a shovel in to get to where I was going to. So I got a few new tools. I got videos for, but one of them I can't release. That's actually pretty good, and it's from Kaiweets, and it's pretty good. I think a lot of people will like it. And then I got a new flashlight. I filmed that yesterday. I'll probably put that out next week. And then me and Miss Maintenance filmed a meme video, so I'm gonna try to get that out maybe at some point in time whenever I need to. I try to get a little bit ahead on videos because, like I said, during this time of year is when it starts getting a little crazy work-wise. So I'm trying to build myself up a little bit of a bank so that I can have stuff come out. But hopefully y'all like the meme video and y'all can decide if y'all want me to do more of those. What's up, Chris? Abraham says, I saw these Instagram new build houses close to $1 million. They're getting inspections and the house is just crap. Yeah. Me and my buddy was just talking about that. We've been doing that quadplex, and it's just, I mean, people just don't care. And it's everybody's just in it for the money grab. Me saying everybody doesn't mean everybody. What I mean is the most multitude of people, most companies, most everything is just get in, get out. And the biggest thing in my area that I see is like used to on job sites, there was a project manager that was there like 100% of the time telling people where no, this is you can't put your stuff here. It's got to go over here, all that kind of stuff. And that's what it's part of the price. It's in there. You're paying somebody to project manage. Well, now there's people who are building houses, whether they're just realtors. And then, again, this is my area. I don't know about anywhere else. And they're just basically getting contracts from subs. So they'll go get a drywall person, they'll go get a painter, they'll go get a plumber, electrician, all those things, get quotes from them, pick the lowest one and say, okay, you can do my electrical. And then it's just a free for all. Like everybody just goes into that build and puts their stuff wherever. And then the next guy comes in and doesn't like it. But there's nobody there kind of saying, this is how we're going to build this thing. We're not just letting you do whatever's easiest for you. We're going to do whatever's best for this house or this apartment building or whatever it is. And that's the biggest thing, is that there's zero management going on job sites. Even like so you can hire an electrical contractor to come do like a bigger job, and they bid it and they just send their guys out there. They never come look at what they do. They never come check out what they do. They don't do anything. So there's zero like oversight. And I think that's the biggest problem. Everybody's just doing whatever they want to. Mean memes? No, they're not mean. They're just like just funny stuff. Meme is what I said, not mean. In Austin, the old pier and beam homes are as low as possible and usually on an incline. Dig crawl trenches to get further fun. Yeah, that's the way one of the houses that I was talking about where I had to dig. It was built like this, and if you wanted to get back over to where the kitchen was, you had to pretty much dig it out. What's my preferred way to remove Cosmoline rust preventative from new equipment? I use Houdini to clean absolutely everything, but everything that I use, I clean so often that, again, I have no idea how well it lubricates for the long term of things if you just let something sit there for a long time. But it cleans off everything that I pretty much use it on. Klein yellow handle pliers wrench down to 19. I seen you put the next two guess the trades. Yeah, there isn't a guy there supervising that the job is well done and safe. Superintendents are important during construction. Yeah. And the thing of it is, it'd be different to me if people weren't paying for a superintendent, but like people are still paying. Like if I hire somebody, they're paying, like if I hire an electrical company to come in, like for instance, like on this quadplex or whatever, like it's a bigger job. It's not like it's a service call and I just said, hey, send me somebody out here to fix my light fixture. I mean, this is a job where you're going in and basically building it out as it goes, and you've got the plan and all that stuff. You came up with your own electrical plan, all that kind of stuff. And again, they'll just send guys out there and never come check to see if they've done anything how they're supposed to and all that kind of stuff. So the sad thing is people are still paying for the project manager side, paying for a superintendent, and they're not getting it. Need someone focused on the whole image, not just a single part like most trades are. I've seen water lines run parallel to the panel. We have lots of superintendents. It's the policies and standards that's problematic. What's up, Blackjack? You still think the super slick stuff is the same as Houdini? I really like that video. I feel like it is. Somebody told me that they saw that it didn't dry off your hands as fast or something. I don't remember who was it that told me that. Might have been Matt. I don't remember. One of them somebody said one of them dried faster. Yeah, it dries my hands like crazy is what Matt told me. But I don't know that I've noticed any difference, but I don't. I'm probably immune to it drying my hands. Houdini doesn't, and then he said Super Slick Stuff does. So that's what he said, was that it dries his hands. My hands are dry quite a bit anyway. So tool customer stopped using me because he found someone cheaper. Then he tried to get me to take care of warranty for a SDS that the other guy sold him. Fat chance. Yeah, there's all sorts of memes, like we were talking about memes there, of like I know there's one of Colin McGregor, you know, walking into the ring, and I've seen several of them where it's when they call me when the cheaper guy messes things up type thing. And yeah, I've gotten several of those where I'm too expensive, but then so there's also people who will call me for specific things, and then the other stuff they're like, well, we'll just use those guys. Like they're willing to pay more whenever it's something important type thing. If you have old man skin, aka asbestos fingers, you won't feel much. Yeah, that might be what I've got. Someone asked me for a maintenance video for my tools, but how do I explain it? Would just be me wiping Houdini on everything. Yeah, that's all I do. Now I do sometimes use I normally use the crocodile wipes. I'm just trying to get rid of these. I will sometimes wipe them down if they're super nasty first. But yeah, this is all I use. And I don't use any kind of lubricant stuff on most of my tools. I mean, so however long that lasts, it lasts plenty good for all my tools. I don't have a big rust problem on any of my tools. Now, sometimes if I leave stuff in the camper topper of my truck, like just out, like pliers or nail sets or something like that, there must be a moisture factor in there, just humidity and stuff. Sometimes I'll get a little bit of rust starting if I accidentally leave stuff in there outside of a drawer, like just laying out. Like as long as they're in my deck drawers or in any of my organizers or anything like that, they're fine. It's just whenever they're just out in the open. But I think it's also because I think a little bit of water gets in, nothing that I can even notice whenever it's like crazy rain or whatever it is. And then I've got that carpet in there. So it's sometimes, but it's got the vinyl backing on it. So it doesn't really affect it, but it probably keeps and holds a little bit of moisture over time. These are still pretty dirty. Yeah, so that job wouldn't have been as nasty, but for the fact that all that dryer lint's just been going under that house. But I got it pretty clean by the time I left. There was something else I was gonna, besides the no live next Thursday, there was something else I was gonna mention. I already forgot what it was. Clint Cole, like and subscribe and share. Appreciate that, buddy. Yeah, I can't remember what it was. Got me some new brake pads for my truck. I'm gonna put on at some point in time. I'll do that myself. Again, I'm not a big maintenance person on vehicles, but I do my own. I kind of almost think, which I'm going to check them whenever I take the rear off. I think I might have a bad wheel bearing in one of my rear tires too, but I'm not sure. Matt's going to finally get his SBLD retirement question mark. Well, it's sitting back there. I'm just not using it at the moment, but I've got a bunch of Vito bags I'm not using at the moment, but I'm probably going to keep it at least for a while because it's a good bag. Like it's a very good, like I would call it medium sized bag. Whereas I would call the MCT Blackout like a bigger bag. But this is definitely, which like I said, I'm baffled at how much that SPMC really holds. Like, because I didn't have a lot of tools left over. It's mostly what's in that zipper sections, what you can't put in that SPMC. And I'm not even using the pouches on the SPMC. If I was using these, I mean, I could pretty much fit everything the same, probably as what I fit in there. After I tried to sell my bags and failed, I just stopped and accepted I'm going to have them forever. I'm almost at that point with Facebook Marketplace, and man, it is such a pain just dealing with people. What kind of shears do you have? I see 2 different pairs. These are those crimpers for duct work. It's the Lennox, and these are Milwaukee. I've got the 3-pack of the Milwaukee, the straights and the greens and the reds. I don't really use them all that often, to be honest with you. I don't do a lot of work with metal that much. Oh yeah, I was going to bring this out at the very end instead of the pipe, and then y'all would know. Which I didn't end up using this, but I needed that little pipe that was in it. So I went ahead and I would have changed it out. So like if that video's good and I end up making it a video, I really would have rather changed it out to this, but the location of their dryer vent where it goes out, this would have been like almost touching the ground. So I left the one that they had. They got one with the 3 flaps on there. So I left the one they had on there. I didn't tell them I was even going to change it out to this, but I needed the little pipe that fit inside of this because that one was pretty damaged. So I'll have this as a replacement at some point in time for somebody. That was sitting there that I was going to bring out last. I forgot about it. "90% of the customer that buy from me off Facebook Marketplace are great. It's the 10% that run everything." Yeah, I have people all the time that, yeah, I want it. I can come get it from you, the next day, and then I'll put it in my truck because I don't ever keep any of the stuff I'm selling in my truck. I don't have room for it. So I always tell everybody when they message me and be like, I can bring it tomorrow, to town or whatever, but I don't have it today. And then they'll be like, yeah, I'll meet you. And you schedule all that, put it in your truck, which isn't a big deal for like small tools, but there was some stuff. I don't remember what was the big thing I was selling. There was something that was a big pain in my butt to load it in on all the garage door openers that I got on clearance at Home Depot. I put them in my truck probably like 6 times to sell to people, and then it would fall through, which I finally did get rid of them. But like I guarantee it was at least 6 times of I want them. Okay, I'll put them in my truck and we can meet tomorrow. Gameros has been converted to the annex screwdriver. Yeah, there's a lot of people that like that one. Matt's tried to get me to buy it 1,000 times. Did you remember to join the pipes so nothing gets caught on the seams? Yeah, I always take the pipes and put the crimp going out, and then I used the mastic tape. I didn't put any screws in it. I'm sure I didn't do. I guarantee I did better than probably what most people do, but I don't do ductwork stuff or dryer vent stuff really all that often. This is just somebody that's just my normal customer who had a problem, so I fixed it for them. But yeah, I did put the pipes in the right way because some people will crimp stuff and just shove it in either direction. If you got all that crimp going back towards the dryer, then every bit of that length is going to sit there and pack around it. I'm happy you got the bit. I will call it a victory. Tyrone got the 39-piece connect box. Yeah, the 39-piece, is that the essential set, I think? Is that 39 or is that 38? That one stays in my truck. That's the one I keep in my truck the most. All these, the other ones, I don't keep my starter set or anything like that in the truck anymore because I've always got the 1/4-inch stuff in my truck or in my bags. So pretty much the essential kit and then the T handle are pretty much the only two that I really keep in my truck all the time. And then some of these are just stuff I use around the house type stuff. It'd be nice if they came out with something in the Type M. Oh, a lot of people are asking for a ratcheting screwdriver handle for the Type M. There's all sorts of times I get comments of people wanting for that like 3/8 style set instead of the 1/4-inch, wanting a ratcheting handle for it. 39 is the complete set. Sounds good. It's easy to go backwards if you're just not thinking. Yeah, I see, especially on the that little piece of pipe that I was talking about comes with this right here, because a lot of times people will have the pipe coming out already, and then all they're doing is adding that in or changing that out, and they'll crimp that and stick it inside the pipe, and that's like the last spot, and there's not as much airflow once you get to there, because this ended up being, my guess is I had to run probably like 10, 20, or 5, 10, 15, probably like 25 feet worth of pipe, I guess, to get outside. And I ended up having to put in one more elbow than what I wanted to, because in the straight line of coming in, I ended up hitting a plumbing pipe, and I couldn't, so I had to come over and then go around it. But that's because it should have been put in the first place, and then you wouldn't be going around a bunch of other stuff. They would have had that other stuff go around it. Got an email from Amex saying my info might have been compromised. They were sending me a new card. Somebody bought a fridge from Lowe's with the old number. My buddy had his Lowe's card back whenever all that hurricane went through North Carolina and all that stuff, up the coast. Somebody was going in Lowe's and buying all kinds of stuff on his credit card in North Carolina. So he obviously wasn't there, because he also had purchases, in the town we live in. So they knew it wasn't him. But there was a bunch of stuff like buying generators and all kinds of stuff. I saw in your latest video your M12 has the spider holster pin. Did you switch from the Noster? Yeah, the Noster, I go back and forth. It just depends on my job. I like the Noster the best if I'm wearing like my job site vest and I'm doing work off a ladder or whatever, just because then I can stick my M12 anywhere I want to. But like if I'm always doing work where I'm going to have plenty of access to put it right there on my hip every single time I'm really just working on the ground or whatever, I use the spider drill pin, just because it's easy to lock in and out just by dropping it type thing. I 100% use a Noster on the tape measure I'm using all the time. And then the only reason why I use the spider drill pin over the holstery pin pal on my M12 Surge is because I've got more spider drill pins than I do holsters for the pin pal. So if I run a pin pal pouch or two, I don't have an extra thing to put my pin pal in. So that's why I'm using it. I like both the spider drill pin and the holstery thing about the same, but I've got a ton of spider holsters and a ton of spider pins. So search annex ratcheting screwdriver. It's a ball handle like Vessel, but better switch. I don't understand why you order something to pick up if you're stealing. Got to go delivery. Or I guess they're afraid to deliver it to wherever they're at, so they don't know that they stole it. Chris got the Vera screwdrivers from Woot that you posted for 26 bucks. I had to try them even though I'm a Weehawk guy. Yeah, the Vera screwdrivers that insulated set's a pretty good set. I got some screwdrivers here from Matt HMM from KC Tool, and then I've also got some stuff that might be getting delivered tomorrow from KC Tool for the free shipping thing. So I might make a video out of all of them. That's the only reason why I'm not getting them out now. Plumbing wants those new black Vera wrenches. Yeah, I'd like to get the 1/4-inch black Zyklop that just takes the sockets. I'd like to have that to put in my bag. I really want one of those 1/4-inch Vera Zyklops that's not that has the ball detent and not the the magnet like what my 8009 has. Can they make a laser tip slim insulation wearer? Yeah, it would be nice. The vessel insulated ones aren't bad. You just can't get a square in them is the only thing that stinks. But they're pretty good, and the tips on those, are pretty much same size all the way out type thing. They're not bad because most insulated drivers I have are all like I like the tang through weight better. These are a light vessel. But most insulated screwdrivers I have are all super light anyway, so they weigh about the same as any other insulated driver I got. Not a fan of the Vera drivers. Prefer the PB Swiss or Weha from hand experience. About to order Annex screwdriver. How to use an affiliate link. Pretty much, Clint, if you go click on any Amazon link or go in my store, or like, it doesn't have to be like, if you click an Amazon link, it doesn't have to be the thing that you're buying. Like, even if you just go to Amazon by clicking my link, it's the same thing as you buying anything else. It's the same thing if you hit the shop button on certain ones. I don't know exactly how the shop button works because I don't get to see any of how that works. But I know that there's certain cases, like somebody just bought a generator at Lowe's, and whoever did that, I appreciate it. But I don't have a video for a generator at Lowe's, so they clicked on something that was a Lowe's thing in one of my videos, and then bought a generator, and then I get a little kickback on that. So essentially, all the affiliate link stuff is just something for the person sending you to that website. Like, you don't have to specifically buy whatever that thing is. If you just click a link to Amazon and then you buy something on Amazon within a certain window or on that same thing or something like that, it's the same thing as you buying anything else. And again, it's not a huge amount, but it adds up when there's like a lot of people that do it. I mean, it's better than nothing, and it helps me buy tools and stuff like that. Those vessel ones feel like they're Fisher Price. Yeah, compared to a tang through, that's like it's basically the same as the black vessel screwdriver, the very first one I bought, and I didn't care for that whenever I got it. And then once I started buying the tang through, I'm like, oh yeah, this is where it's at right here, just based on the weight. And then I bought those just because I like ball handle ones now. And again, they're way lighter than a tang through, but they're not that much lighter than most of the other insulated screwdrivers that I have. It's neat to know about affiliate links. Did not know that's how it works. Yeah, I didn't know that originally, but like I'm able to, I can't see who buys stuff. I'm able to see what people buy, but I can't see like who it is that buys it type thing. Like I said, like every now and then, matter of fact, I'd say most of the time stuff that people are buying isn't whatever they went to the link for. Like somebody probably clicks the link to go look at it, and then they decide, well, while I'm on here, I'm going to order this, type of thing. Klein pass-throughs are a good choice. Magnetic too. Yeah, I like the Klein magnetic hollow nut drivers, the ones I had in my SPMC video. I like those. They're pretty good. I wish that I've kind of gotten spoiled with the Malcos and the flip sockets and being able to clean the magnets out. Back in the day, it was just a normal thing to have to sit there and clean your magnets out on your nut drivers all the time. But it's not too bad on the Klein ones. It's not too awful bad. Who is the best roller between Milwaukee and Klein? the Klein, like if you're just getting the rolling box, now I don't have the drawer. I think the size, having a decent size and then a small drawer on top, it would be better for me. But I can also see where having that really big drawer, like tall wise, so like if you wanted to put a sawzall and all that kind of stuff in there, it's probably going to fit in there a lot better. So it's really going to be dependent upon what tools you're sticking in it, type thing. I think the Klein handle, the way that it comes out on the regular rolling box, and then the way that it works is really nice. Compared, like if it was just rolling box against rolling box, the old styles, the Klein is better than the Milwaukee in my opinion. But the drawer, I would like to have the drawer option that Klein has on theirs in the Milwaukee, where it's like a smaller drawer. I would actually like Klein's kind of got a big drawer, and then it's not super small. It's kind of about the size of like a regular Milwaukee organizer on the top. So it's probably, about that size of a drawer. I wouldn't mind having a really small, like a smaller one that's skinnier, just to stick either hand tools, or you could put the little trays with small fasteners or something in it. But just so that you've got a spot divided out, like whether you wanted to put even some kind of stuff that you normally use, just so it's not kind of down in there with all your tools. Like even having a small drawer to put maybe bit boxes and stuff like that in, and then having your tools in the other one would be nice. But you could always too, I mean, the thing about the Milwaukee drawer being bigger, you can always stick other drawer units on top of it and put that stuff in it too. So if the biggest drawer possible is what you're looking for, the Milwaukee's got it right now. Chris said, I did not know that about affiliate links. Yeah. And whether it works that way all the time or not, I don't know. But I do know that there's times where people buy stuff that I don't have a link for. So it has to work that way sometimes. So I don't know exactly how it works, but I know for a fact that it definitely works some way that way. I ordered annex screwdrivers. Well, like it lets me check like the next day. I can usually get on there and see like if people have bought stuff. Like I said, it doesn't tell me who buys anything. It just says like so for instance, if I had a link, or let's say I made a video for annex screwdrivers and and like a bunch of people went to buy it, like the next day or so I might get on there and it might say 15, of that screwdriver and all that kind of stuff. 654.56 magnetic Klein. I don't know that any others are fully passed through. I like the pack out 3 drawer that has 2 small and 1 larger. Yeah, I'd like to get one. I wouldn't have minded having one of those. Like I bought most of my drawers before that one came out, but that's a good combo, I think too. I think I'd like to have one of those. Gave up hunting Milwaukee rolling drawer around my town, so I just bought the Klein 2 drawer roller, good for tools in the bottom and batteries and smaller stuff in the top. Yeah, mine, like I said, I went to the store. The only reason why I even started looking for it was because mine had said out of stock. Like my store said out of stock forever. And then I clicked on it one day. I had some extra time before I was coming home, and I was just looking around. I thought, well, I'm going to check it just to see if they got any in. And it said, I don't think it said limited quantity, but it said, basically go to store. I don't remember what it was. You'd have to basically it's saying they might have one, might not type thing. Limited availability, check store for details, whatever it was. And so I looked around for a little while, going around, wherever there was pack out. And I started looking around up at the top, seeing if I could see a box. And then that guy, his name was Bobby, asked me, he said, can I help you with something? I was like, well, I said, if you got a scanning thing to where you can check this, I said, if you can just see if y'all so happen to have one, I said, that's what I'm looking for. I kind of just want to see one. I don't know if I'm going to get it or not. And he said, it says we got one. And then we walked around for a while and we found it on that one pallet because everything else on that pallet was just the regular rolling boxes. They only had one of those on that pallet. So after they got it down and had to go through the ordeal, blocking off all the stuff and all that, I'm just like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and buy it because I wasn't gonna leave with that. And I was kind of wanting one, but it wasn't like I'm not like chomping at the bit to get it. Like I could have waited till the store got it. I wasn't necessarily going to get one just because, oh, I want to get one, but I kind of wanted one anyways. He wanted handles, not bits. Yeah, the Klein, I almost bought the Klein 2 drawer rolling box a long time ago and was going to do that adapter on it. And then that was back when the Milwaukee one was supposed to come out in January, whenever I first kind of started thinking about it. And I thought, well, I'll just wait till the Milwaukee one comes out and we'll see what it looks like type thing. So that's the only reason. And like I said, I'm a little bit testing out that Klein adapter plate to make sure over time it holds up well, being whatever it's made out of. My store told me it will be in stock June 5th. They're getting 7 in. I can't believe my store even had one if other stores don't, because my store just does not get stuff usually. 2 a.m. now, giving up and going to bed. Appreciate it, Rob. We'll see you, buddy. HD rep sounds awesome. And most of the time, that's why I even said his name in the video, because like 9 times out of 10, if that situation would have happened, they would have looked on their thing and it would have said they had one, and they would have been like, it says we got one, but it's probably back in the back on a truck, or or it's we won't have it. There's no sense in even looking for it. That's the normal. But this guy went above and beyond. I mean, he was like, I'm gonna go look and see. Mm-mm. I made it all week. I made it 1 week without buying a tool. I don't know that I bought a tool this week. I got some, but I bought a Milwaukee composite folding rule, mostly because I like the look of it. And then I also got myself and I was kind of depressed about these, which I'm sure it showed it in the picture, but I didn't pay any attention to it. So I've been wanting to get a adapter set, basically, to go to your sockets, reducers, and all that kind of stuff. And I decided I was going to go ahead and spend the money and get the Milwaukee ones, because that's what my sockets are in here. But I expected them to have, this on it. But again, the picture probably didn't show it on there, and I just didn't pay any attention to it. So these don't have, the white etching, which they probably just didn't have room for it. It just has like regular old like laser print type stuff on there. For not that you need to necessarily see that on those. It's not like a socket where you're in between sizes and trying to see which one's which. I mean, you can tell by looking at them, but still a little bit down on that. No white ink. I have a few sets of those, but I keep one in my truck all the time. And there was so many times where I just needed one of those specific ones in here, and I've got some of them in my toolbox, but not all of them. So I'm like, I'm just going to buy me another set and put it in my toolbox, because I get tired of going to my truck every time to go get an adapter to go to some socket. So I need to click your affiliate on Amazon every order and Lowe's. Yeah, the Lowe's percentage is actually in the shop button is probably one of the better ones, but that changes all the time. Like and certain ones are, because like I'm not only affiliate like account that I have is with Amazon, and that's it. I signed up with them like way back in the beginning. I tried signing up with Home Depot and they wouldn't do it. And then I tried after I got more subscribers and stuff, and I never did get any kind of replies, and I just gave up on it. I got tired of messing with it. And I don't really like keeping up with all that stuff anyways. That's like Woobin and Olight and all those, they all offer you to become an affiliate with them. But it's not worth it to me to mess with having all those accounts, especially whenever you get into maybe taxes and stuff like that and having to do all that. It's not worth it to what you'll get off of it, in my opinion. Like Amazon sells so much stuff that it's very easy for me to go get Amazon links and, put them in there. And that's where I buy most of my stuff anyways. But the YouTube shop button has made it nice because then you can put like Home Depot and Lowe's and stuff like that in there. Whereas I'm not really an affiliate with Home Depot and Lowe's. It's just, I guess, Home Depot and Lowe's and Acme and all those are like an affiliate with YouTube. So it's really, I'm a middleman between YouTube and Lowe's and YouTube and Home Depot. Precise measurements on the folding rule, conduit bending. Wacky got to meet the Milwaukee rep in my store. He gave me a shirt. My guy's in there all the time. Like there's a Milwaukee rep almost in mine every day. Like almost every time I go in there. It's like he lives there, I think. Those are made in Switzerland, the folding rules. Some are made in Germany. Where are you at? I don't see it on here anywhere. Designata, poor Milwaukee tool engineered by professionally made in Switzerland. Yeah, this is made in Switzerland. I just thought it looked pretty cool. There are times where I use this type of roller, but not very often. $72 people, 28 likes. The math ain't the math ain't mathing. I have an old Lufkin folding ruler that was my father's. Yeah, I used to have several of these, and then I don't know where most of those went to. I like this one just because I like the way it looked. I thought they looked good, like just even if. But it's also a composite material. I kind of like that too. We'll see if the temperature messes it up any. And double-sided on the measuring and all that jazz. $78 inches, or maybe 79, I guess you would say. I don't know if it said what it said on the package. 6.5 foot rule. So, yeah. And then it has quick reference bend angles for 22.5, 30, 45, and 60. I don't see them on there yet. It says made, Swiss made right there. I don't see where the quick reference things are for it though. Whatever it said. Maybe they're hidden underneath one of these. I don't know where the quick reference angle things are. Not seeing those. It says they're on there. I don't see them though. It says at 45. They ain't on this side. Anybody got this and they know where they are? I'm calling BS. Unless it's one of these certain, well, not really though. I'm gonna say because those are just the feet marks. I don't know. Metal slide for inside measurements. Let's see. No. It's got little metal end caps. Ah, there they are. So I guess if you line that back up to so like there would be 30, I guess, and then 45, and 60. So they're there on the side. If I'd have probably looked at it out here, I'd have been able to see them stare me in the face. I got a lot of dirt coming off of it, or coming off me, one of the two. Yeah, that's uh-oh. The ink runs with Houdini on your angles. Yeah, see? So you clean it very much. You got runny ink. I probably won't use those angle things much anyways. Let's see. Vito Ambassador Morgan, be nice. Let's go back up. Finest Swiss Plastique. Joey scored really good on some Craftsman stuff today from Ace, and they canceled it. Yeah, that happens all the time sometimes. It's happened to me a few times on Home Depot stuff. Used to have a 0 ratcheting screwdrivers, now have 3 thanks to the rabbit hole I went down to the Vera video. The Vera one's that little Vera one's about the only one I use on a consistent basis. Other than that, the Vessel USB driver to me is probably what I use in most cases where people use a ratcheting screwdriver. I'd rather use it. Speaking of Home Depot, has yours gone full self-checkout? No, we still have usually one checkout. That's about it. And then the pro desk over there, that lady will check me out every time. If I just walk over there and say, hey, will you check me out? You know, she'll check me out. When your Vito turns into a footrest, never get comfy, you'll fall asleep. Does it have detents as it folds? Yeah, they lock at 90. It's kind of like a little locks at that point and then locks straight. It's got some little pieces there that kind of fit into the other one. Almost looks like a bow tie, like on a wood repair for like a table. Man, my hands is nasty. Now the Milwaukee that's here is not running with the Houdini, just the ink on those degrees. Return defective. You like getting checked out by other women, Morgan, better be careful, man. Yeah, there's one lady at Home Depot that I tend to, well, actually there's a lady at Lowe's that I go to her register every time, and then there's a lady at Home Depot that I go to her register every time. Just to make their day. I make their day every time I go in there. So what kind of work y'all been doing this week? I've been at the Quadplex, and then that job, I was supposed to be doing some more cabinets and a countertop, but I picked up the cabinets, and then they told me that the countertop was messed up and they had to order it again or something or other. It's something that the customer ordered, and I'm just doing pickup for them. So it was supposed to be in today, but I never heard anything from them. But I've been doing door locks and, you know, all that kind of stuff, and just little odds and ends. My grandfather was an old time carpenter, and he used the folding rule all the time. Yeah, there's some people that still, I see them use them. One of the guys that was on our job actually had it out, and that he was doing something. I can't remember what it was, which trade that was. I'm getting paid buco bucks to paint nasty apartments in ghetto town. As long as the money's good. And they reimburse you for the tools that get stolen. We have a regular at HD for a checker. Yeah, the lady at Lowe's is the only person that's at Lowe's today that has still been there, like, since as far as I can remember going to Lowe's. She's been there for a long time. She's one of the few that's still there. That's one of the older type employees. Fixing a lot of sprinklers and compactor closets. What's up, Andrew? Working for a residential development company, way different than construction. Laying LVP kitchen today. Hit my head on the dang range hood a dozen times. Yeah, we finished laying that LVP. It was glue down in that quadplex. I'm glad. There's a lot of floor. I think it's about, I think it's somewhere between 6,000 and 7,000 square foot. The building is 2, 4, 6. It's probably between, yeah, probably, I think it's 7 something, if I remember right. But there's a lot of doorways and halls and all that kind of stuff. And then with the glue down, you got to be kind of strategic about how you go about doing it so that you can keep going into other rooms and all that kind of stuff. Swapped IC cores in a building today, then started a long weekend. Yeah, I don't. Tomorrow, I was planning on doing those cabinets and stuff, but if they don't come in, I'm kind of at a standstill at the quadplex because the painters are in there doing their final painting. So I may not work very much tomorrow. Redoing lights and power for a school. Pretty boring, but it pays the bills. Installing hardwood in kitchen and the hall. Jamie's hanging drywall in a huge basement, pouring footings, dug in plumbing, and got a 40 by 20 pad ready for a heated part of a big garage. It's a lot of work. The drywall in the basement, the battle's getting the drywall in the basement most of the times. I went and priced a basement for a guy to hang drywall on his walls, and there was no, like, there wasn't any good way to get any size sheet whatsoever down there. Like, there just wasn't a good way to do it, and that's why I told him, I was like, there's gonna be a lot of mudding because you're gonna have smaller pieces, because it's one of those where you go into the basement to the stairwell and then you take a hard 90 and then you go down and they're pretty steep and the ceiling height's not high, and then at the bottom of that you do another 90. Baking roast beef and turkey tomorrow and soaking some briskets for pastrami. Nice. You should do a chat about a collaboration of worst jobs ever. Yeah, I always like listening to people talk about like stuff like the bad jobs and stuff like that. I haven't had a ton of just horrible jobs in my life. Now, I mean, physically wise, yeah, they just suck because they're just highly physical, but nothing that was just like, the worst would be you go under a house and a plumbing pipe's been broke for probably 6, 7 months, and they've just been continually flushing toilets and everything else, and you crawl into there and it's basically a sewage dump under the house. That's always the worst that I've been into for the most part. Do you know when Vera's new tools are coming out? That ratcheting compact with bit storage looks nice. I think some places have them to where you can get them. Like House of Tools has it. That's pre-order. I don't know when the date is though, because House of Tools never says. It just says extended handling time. The best place to kind of get an idea, usually, if I go to House of Tools and they have it, but it just says extended handling time, because again, they don't even tell you it's a pre-order. They just, you buy it and wait forever and wonder why they haven't sent it to you. But I'll go over to Acme Tools and see what the date is on theirs if they've got them. That's usually what I do. Those are the best, Morgan, what you're talking about. Monroe changed out 2 water circulation pumps for a hospital. They were doing some elevator work at our hospital. My son works at one of them, and so they had the front entrance blocked off because they were doing a crane. they had to crane everything up to the top and drop it in from the top, whatever they were doing. I don't know if they were changing out the elevator or what they were doing. I don't know, but they basically had to open it up from the roof and drop whatever it was down inside the elevator shaft. To get sheetrock in the narrow places, we've scored and folded them and then reassembled them when down there. Don't break the paper. Yeah, done that a few times before. Not on a, I wouldn't want to do it on a whole entire thing, but yeah. I mean, you can do it on a whole entire thing. I'm just not going to. Because again, working by myself, just manhandling stuff in those situations is jobs I just tend to pass up. KC Tool affiliate links pay 10%. Steve's Wood Shop and Tool Review said. Yeah, see, I'm not an affiliate with them either. And I don't think they're in the shop button, KC Tools, I don't think. I've told KC Tools to sponsor Steve and Joey before. They've always got good stuff. I very rarely buy from them because of the shipping thing. But like this last weekend where they had free shipping, that's when I start looking for stuff. But man, it's the pack out drawer kind of threw me for a loop on the spending the money, and then I ended up buying some other pack out to make it to where I got a deep organizer for free. I wasn't planning on buying that. So that kind of threw me out of the wrench of buying some other stuff I was looking at. Last few days of vacation, mulching and getting the yards edged and treating. I finally got my yard mowed today. We've had a rainy week as all get out. My Vera Black Ratchet status is order place, working on packaging. What's up, Lexi? Yeah, I kind of, because now House of Tools on the Black Vera Cyclops, theirs says that they only, like they say limited edition, and like the way it's worded isn't that they have 6,000 of them to sell. The way it was worded was like there's only 6,000 of them that they're making or something like that, which doesn't seem like very many to me, but I'm late, but I made it. What's up, Elliot? Starting to sprinkle. I think I'm hearing some rain. I thought it might rain tonight, but I don't think we're going to get any heavy rain. I was a little worried that it was supposed to start raining today. That's why I hurried up and came home and mowed today. I was afraid it was going to be raining during this, but it is starting to rain now a little bit. I can hear it. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm going to put most of this stuff back in my truck. I bought these to try out for the closet shelving because I've got the type of wire shelving I'm putting in the quadplex. It's got the one bar at the top that you actually mount the studs and all that kind of stuff. And basically it's what holds all the weight of it's the kind where you got the tracks going up and down the wall and you set the little brackets in, then put the shelf on top. So essentially all those brackets that are the adjustable brackets, you're mounting them to the top plate for structure wise, and then you just screw them to the wall for just to hold them in place to keep them lined up correctly. So I've had these before, the wall dog type things, but they don't have they're kind of small, but these have a white head for one. My shelving's white, and then also it's kind of like a wafer head. And then all of that little part right there is going to fit perfectly right inside the hole of those shelf brackets. So I think these are going to be phenomenal for that because it's 5/8 drywall. That's typically the only time I have these work very well is in 5/8 drywall. If it's that 1/2 inch and stuff, you go just a little bit too far, especially just depends on what you're putting them through. You end up getting where the shoulder's a little bit big. So, but this will be going through that. I don't have one in here. They're all in my trailer, but that closet bracket's about to here. So all that should be in that 5/8 drywall. So hopefully they're going to work out pretty good. I already bought 2 boxes of them. So I didn't know they were DeWalt brand when I bought them. They didn't say they were DeWalt, but they're Powers is what they are. Engineered by Powers is what the listing on Amazon said. Well, KC Tool contacted Steve's wood shop. Well, they didn't contact me. Nobody ever contacts me. I got out of construction a while back. It doesn't pay good enough around here. I do appreciate my current a lot more because of it. Your current job. I enjoy electric work a lot. Might chase that later on. Yeah, it pays pretty good here. Now, if you work for somebody, that's the thing. There's certain people that if you work for them, you can make a good, decent money, or with the benefits, it ends up being decent money. But working for yourself, you can make pretty good money. I contact you, Joey. They used to call my old teacher the Belarusian Spider Man because dude literally used to pull ballerina moves to get the job done. Wore all white, left without a stain. I got to tell you, this light right here is awesome. Like, it lasts forever. I had it underneath that house for a couple hours, probably about 3 hours total. And then I even had it on the whole entire time I was upstairs with the dryer, just to help with lighting for the recording more than anything. I didn't need it for the work purpose of it. But, and then also the DJI camera. Like, I was watching some of the footage back. Let's see, I'll give you guys a sneak peek. Well, like I said, I've got it on here, but I haven't full blown edited it to see if it's good or not, or any of that kind of stuff. But like, well, let me get rid of this. Like, even in the crawl space, like that GoPro, you wouldn't have seen any of this. Like, the light's over here, but the DJI, like, it's really good in like dark spots. And then I ran one battery for this whole entire job. Like, I would have had to go through all my GoPro ones. I guarantee I would have had to. So there's all the cleaning up junk. Yeah. So there's a sneak peek. Like I said, I haven't watched it and looked at it and sped it up and did any of that kind of stuff yet. I just basically got it transferred over I do all my editing on my iPad just because it's bigger. Five amp hour, yeah, that's what I run in it most of the time. Because I guess it's because I got so many of them, and the high output is just bigger. Like, it seems like to me this fits better, the fives, versus if you put a high output in there. I mean, you can obviously use it. It's just that makes it bigger, and the five lasts so long. That's just what I use because it's kind of more in line with the five. The bigger batteries stick out a little bit farther. I think I might need to invest in a DJI. I think I'm going to go ahead and buy it depends on what happens about something else that I got contacted about. If what else I got contacted about comes through, I'm going to probably buy the DJI mic to work with my DJI camera, so that if I'm doing something beside, like the Watch Me Works, like, which is all I really use that camera for, I always do the voiceover anyways, just because I don't talk a lot when I'm working. I don't want to have to sit there and think about, oh, what do I need to say here and all that kind of stuff. So I just work, and then when it's all said and done, whenever I'm editing, I just do the voiceover. So I don't care anything about having a microphone for it. But if I'm going to use that camera for anything other than that, like if I was talking with somebody or talking about something or whatever, it seems like it picks up pretty good as long as I'm wearing it, like here. But I don't know how well it picks up, like if you were to hold it out on a selfie stick or whatever else. So if what else might happen, I might end up buying that microphone because it just pairs with it. You don't have to plug in anything. You don't have to do anything. I noticed I need to do that to my house. Last time I went under, the video might motivate me to get under there again. Yeah, it wasn't that bad of a crawl space, but it wasn't the best one I've been in. Use any knockoff M18 batteries? No. I don't even know that I've ever owned any. Now I do use like battery adapters in my, like, so I use like my Bosch. I got Bosch tools that I put my batteries in. I got DeWalt tools that I put Milwaukee batteries in, but I don't think I've bought any cheap batteries like the Amazon brand ones or anything like that. I know some people used to buy, I think it was Tool Boss a long time ago, was buying the M12. They had like a 9 amp hour or something like that. He was using them in his lights and stuff like that. Clint said, I'm going to start telling Casey tool I bought from them because of Morgan's maintenance. Yeah, I think a lot of times the reason why, like, I don't get talked to from companies and stuff, one is I don't contact them, and for two is I think most of that stuff goes on Instagram. I think I mentioned that in the last live, and I'm not on Instagram, so I think a lot of the marketing people on most companies, they mostly are on Instagram because it's a instant back and forth with people and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, this I for sure need to put in my truck for, well, I can't think of any, I don't, like I said, I may not even be working tomorrow. I don't know. I've got a lot, I'm basically shifting gears next week to something else. So I'm not going to get anything else started that I got going on. And it's supposed to rain, I think, all day tomorrow. But I am going to go do, if the countertop comes in either this afternoon, tonight, or first thing in the morning, I'm going to go put those cabinets and that countertop in. But other than that, I might be editing the Watch Me Work video. If I get it done, I might put it out on Sunday or something if I get it done. We'll see you, buddy. See you, plumbing. Every day you're not drowning as a plumber is a blessing. Every day you're not touching poo. We can get Joey some free tools. I'll always take them. Anytime I save money on buying my own tools, I'm take it. Or even if it's just a deal. That's like some of the places I wouldn't even mind. It was like, I'll still buy them. I just like to get them a little bit early just so I can check them out. I know there was still something else I was going to say besides, I can't think of it to save my life. That no live next Thursday. So in case you came in a little bit later, I know I probably won't do a live. And I mean, there's a slight possibility, but it's 0.05% possibility that there'll be a live next Thursday. But I'll either do I should be able to do one maybe on Friday or Saturday, one of the two. If I don't do one on Thursday, but if for some reason I can't, if I know ahead of time I won't be able to do one on Friday or whatever, and I'll make a post about whatever I do. But I might release a video because I've got a few videos uploaded that I'm gonna wait until I need to release them. I might release a video on Thursday and just do a premiere with it so that y'all can have a chat that goes on, because I've got one that's I got one that's a decent amount of link to it, which the Guess the Trade, this one, both of the next two. So this Guess the Trade's the reload with Tim with Tools with Tim and Search Eternal, and it's got decent link to it. So there's two people in that one. And then the next week, I went ahead and did two people in it too, because both people they didn't have a ton of pictures. So I'm going to start doubling up because I've got quite a few people. I've got a decent amount of list on that. Like there for a while, it was like, I don't really have anybody. So that's why I slowed down and started going to one person on the Guess the Trades. And then sometimes every now and then I get somebody that's got a bunch of pictures, like Jacques had quite a few pictures. So I went ahead and just made his one anyways, because I was actually going to start doing two people starting then, but he had quite a bit of stuff and it was going to be pretty long. So There is an affiliate application on KC Tool, Clint said. Yeah, I could. There's all sorts of places. Like I said, Olight, Woobin, all them people asked me to sign up for their affiliate thing. I don't mess with them because uh, I don't get stuff like from them. Like if I buy a Woobin light or I buy a Olight light, I buy it off Amazon most of the time. And for like not very many people are going to go to Woobin and buy a Woobin flashlight. So for me to sign up with them and then that little amount of money that ends up making, and I got to deal with that on my taxes and keep up with all that stuff. It's just some of that stuff's not worth it to me. Like I said, I'm not saying any of that money's not nice to have. I'm just saying it's not. I got so much stuff going on that it's like an Amazon affiliate's worth it to me because there's so much stuff. But like you get some a company that people don't buy from that often, it's not worth it. I'm gonna need a doctor's excuse if you're gonna miss. I have the Framers TFXXL. I've looked into that one. If I can ever find one of them, Brandon, on Facebook, I'm gonna buy one on Facebook. That XXL TF, because it's got like a spots for squares and stuff. I'm gonna make that like my job site bag. Like it would have been nice if I had that bag for this quadplex, and then just put tools in it that aren't my like top of the line ones that I keep in my truck and tool bag, but just stuff I can just leave at a job site, hammers and all that, pry bars, all that kind of stuff like that. I kind of want one of those for that, but I'm gonna find me a deal on one. Like I wouldn't want to buy it full price for how I'm going to use it. Tools with Tim first live, first of the month at 4. Yeah, I'm going to try to make that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make that or not either, but I'm going to try to. Like I said, Matt, text me whenever it's close to time to remind me. Love my MCT. I always go back to it. I'll swap out every now and then just to get use out of my other bags, but the MCT always gets the win. Yeah, I just like my pouches, I like leaving them set up how they are because just how I use them. It's muscle memory. Bags, I like changing up every now and then just because I'm opening the bag and looking in it. So if tools swap around in there, it's not that hard for me to remember where stuff is and all that kind of stuff. I don't like changing my pouch setups that much, but my bags, I like just changing it up every now and then, just be something different. I got it at last year's promo. It's heavy. Matt sent me a video today. Bessie's coming out with the like Viking arm. I bought the DeWalt ones. Bessie's coming out with one. I didn't watch the entire video because I was somewhere where I didn't have a signal that was very good, but just watching the gist of it at the very beginning, it looks like they're going to have theirs where you can take the handle off and flip it around. So you can either do it with the squeeze like what the Viking is, or you can do the other way like what the DeWalt is. So that'd be pretty interesting to see what they come in at price wise. I really like my DeWalt one so far. They're a little bit big, but the foot lever, in my opinion, big selling feature on that thing. Like I'm glad I got that because I use that foot lever all the time. Like just taking my foot and cranking something up. Every Vito bag is solidly made. Yeah, I've got my Tech MCT. I probably would never sell that. I won't get rid of that because I feel the same way about that, like what y'all were just saying. I got the MCTP. I've almost got the loadout on that. I was kind of hoping I was going to get that done and get that filmed this week, but I don't think I'm going to. I've kind of just got like a few more things I'm planning on putting in there because basically what I'm using the MCT for is it's going to be like if I'm going in for a problem that's going to take like specialty tool, like diagnostic, mostly like electrical diagnostic stuff. Basically, I'm going to put I already have the tools in my truck and they just stay in my truck. But sometimes whenever I go in to do a job, I'll pull out one or two of the things that I think I'm going to need. And then while I'm in there, I realize, well, I'd like to have my, advanced circuit tracer, or I'd like to have my thermal imaging camera or whatever. And I got to go back out to my truck to get that. So I always have those tools on me, but basically I'm going to put those in my MCTP with tools on one side and those things on the other, so that I can just take that bag in and not take my SPMC, just take that one bag in. So the tools are going to be pretty similar probably to my SPMC, except for maybe they'll be insulated, some of them or whatever. But that's how I'm planning on using that bag. So all the stuff that's going in the bag is already in my truck. It's just not in there in a way where I can just grab it all at one time and just in case I need whatever's in there. So that's how I'm planning on using that bag. But I've got the MCT, I've got the MCTP, I've got the SPMC. I still have the Tech Pack MC that I haven't even looked at remotely. I got that to get another SPMC for free and gave that to my buddy. And then the I've got the TP LD as far and SBLD. So I got the TPLD and the SBLD. And then pouches wise, I've got the MPMX, MP2X, MPX, MPMX, and the MP1. And then I've got a TP3B. I've got a TP4B in the house. I don't think I've got a TP. I used to have a TP3. I don't know if I still have that or if I gave that to somebody. I used to have a TP3 that was just a pouch, but I used to wear that kind of as my bigger pouch if I needed more tools. But ever since I got the MP2X and stuff like that, I've never wore it again. So I think I gave it to somebody. Lock camera got the MC Wheeler. Boras with the folding legs for a while, not mine. They were nice, but I got something similar from Tough Built. Y'all talking about sawhorses or the tables? Toolbox review of the Bora sawhorse. Yeah, I just to be honest with you, I don't think I've got another saw. I've got like Cobalt ones with the legs, all that stuff, and every now and then I might take them to a job site, but I pretty much only use my Stanleys and these Craftsmans pretty much anymore. But I'm not like doing heavy duty stuff like what y'all probably are doing on your jobs and stuff. Like I'm a one-man operation, so if I'm doing much that takes much more than that, then I've got myself in a position where I'm pretty bad off anyways. DeWalt copied the Tough Built horses. I've got these DeWalt tables that you can see them a little bit, that I like those pretty well too. I use them quite a bit. So I'll throw these in the back of my truck. I mostly use them here if I'm going to be building something that I'm taking to a job, but every now and then I'll throw one of these in my truck too. TP3 is a good pouch. DeWalt copy. Let's see. How do you carry the extra stuff you grab in space in the Vito or a clip-on bag like Klein or others have? So if I grab like extra, I've got my advanced circuit tracer is in a pack out, like a medium, like one of these here that this is sitting on. So I'll just grab that out, and sometimes I'll grab that out and clip in my Wago connector box or whatever. But I've also got a Vito cargo tote bag, CT XL, something like that. I think it quit raining. I'll grab it real fast. I think it's the CTLC, I think maybe, because the XL, I'm glad I got the LC because if the XL is bigger than this one, I don't know how big it is, but this thing's pretty big. I keep this in my truck all the time, and I just throw, like whenever I'm going into a house or going in somewhere, I kind of go around my truck and grab stuff and just throw it in this, and I would carry this in, you know, with my SPMC or whatever else I'm doing. But a lot of times the thing I use more than anything is my MP2X. Like I'll open up my truck door, just put that on my belt, and then there's most things I can get done with that, and then I can throw extra stuff in here and just carry this in my hand. Just realized I have my truck door open. It's been raining. Let's see. Let's say Ray's apartment maintenance in here. What's up, buddy? I noticed that the DeWalt storage stuff was on clearance at Home Depot today. I didn't go. No, yeah, I went to Home Depot. I went to Home Depot, but I went straight in there to the ductwork stuff and got it. And I didn't even look. I did look at the clearance racks, but I didn't go through the tool section. Have I tried PB Swiss tools? Very few. I bought the PB Swiss ratcheting driver, but I bought the one that was this length, and then I bought this at the same time. This is like the Insider or whatever that is. I like the handle on that ratcheting driver. Like, I'd rather have the red handle with the texture than have this. Like this, this is all right, but it ain't nothing to cry home about, you know, type thing. But I bought the short one thinking that I was going to be able to have a short screwdriver if I wanted it. And then also, you know, any kind of bit adapter, whatever, let's just say hypothetically, stick that in there, make it a longer one. But it's like the way that magnet, it's pretty shallow in there just to take basically a bit. So then you end up getting like a huge amount of wobble. So I ended up doing the giveaway on the PB Swiss ratcheting driver. One is I don't use ratcheting drivers that much, and two, I just didn't like that screwdriver. It wasn't going to work out like I wanted to. So I wanted to give that to somebody that was going to use it because it's too expensive of a tool to just sit out here all the time. But I wouldn't, if I wouldn't mind having the PB Swiss one. That's the red handle. That's ratcheting. But I would buy the one with the bit thing that actually is like a decent length to the right screwdriver length. But I think that them two screwdrivers, I think, might be the only PB Swiss tools that I bought. Thanks for the answer, because I also would have guessed a free Harbor Freight bucket. Oh. On the carrying the tools. Got a few jaw horse years ago, 25 years ago from Lowe's reduced. Yeah, I've got the jaw horse. I've got one, and I bought the Sheet Master version, which it's not like your regular sawhorse. It's and it will open up and hold a full sheet of plywood, and then you can still close it in. But I mostly have always used that for doors and stuff like that, to do work on them. I don't use it very often. I probably used it to film videos to make it hold something so I could do it more than I've actually used it. I don't use it as much as what I used to. Build my own belt again, starting with the leather pouch from Harbor Freight and single leather holsters for pliers. Wet forming them, having some fun, getting to do some side quests. Do I need to send you the extended one, Joey? I've got it in my Amazon like wish list, just watching it to see if it's not something I have to have type thing. I have tons of tools in my Amazon list that I just watch the prices on, and one day, you know, I just see something like, oh, they got $30 off this thing. That's, you know, that's what I do for the guilty pleasure tools, where I just kind of want one, but I don't necessarily need it type thing. What do you watch on YouTube? Any recommendations? I watch Perkins Builder Brothers, the R&R Buildings. Those are the kind of the two building things. I watch Awesome Framers some. Those are all three kind of the main ones that I watch that are actually like filming themselves building stuff and those kinds of things. And then the tool stuff is just whatever comes up. You know, I mostly just go through my browse thing, to be honest with you. Whatever it ends up putting in there, but you know, it usually gives me Last Best Tool, Project Pine Hills, Tools with Tim's been coming up here lately. But that's usually once you get on it. The only thing I don't like about YouTube is like it keeps giving you the stuff, which I mean, that's what it's supposed to do, the stuff that you watch. But then it's almost like, even if I'm subscribed to somebody, if for some reason I haven't seen their video for a little while, it's almost like they're dead to you. You know, they don't ever put it up there in your browse thing. You have to go search for them again. Now then, after you, like Last Best Tool, even like I hadn't seen his stuff come up for a while, and I was like, I know he's got to be posting. He posts all the time. So I had to go look at his thing, and he had all sorts of stuff. So I went back and started watching some. And now he's finally showing up in my thing again. So it's just the way that it works. But I tend to just turn my TV on and see what's recommended. And I scroll through all those, and then I go down to the new for you and scroll through those. I've got a Homer bucket in the bathroom with most of my extra plumbing parts in it. Ray's apartment maintenance, yeah. Actually, yeah. He does. I just watched his video with his, where he went to his, showed his garage and the place where he's living now. I saw it just the other day. I actually don't watch it like pretty regular, like type thing, as far as the same stuff over and over again. We watch it. Me and Miss Maintenance watch a lot of this. So this, most of my feed right now is the 48 hours, like, you know, the murder mysteries, or the stuff on 48 hours where the husband's killed the wife or the wife has killed the husband. We watch that a lot. So then that makes, the only thing, that's what I was saying, the only thing bad about that is you go watch that stuff on YouTube. Most of our recommended is 48 hours now. Matt's got 2 of those. You'll see I send him stuff reasonably often. I have all 4 rationing drivers: red small, red large, black small with bits, black with large with bits. Use the large black one with the bits so much I got another one as a spare. Works good with 2A stuff. Yeah, I just like I said, the handle on this isn't, like, I wouldn't say it's bad, but in comparison, the feel of it compared to that red one, I really like the feel of the red one. Like, this is still a comfortable handle, but if I had my druthers, I'd rather have that, you know, standard PB Swiss type grip stuff on it. I almost bought the PB Swiss there for a while, and I think it might have been a limited edition anniversary set. They had black handled ones that were dedicated screwdrivers, but I think they were black and maybe had yellow on the top where the, you know, for the markings and all that kind of stuff. I really almost bought that set multiple times just because I kind of wanted them, but glad I was able to get in just in time for the shout out. Last Best Tool uploads about 2 to 3 a.m. daily. Yeah, that's why I was scrolling through my stuff the other day, and I'm just like, man, I was actually curious to see, because somebody had emailed me and asked if I knew Bezug or Bezug. I never remember how he says his name, because they said he hadn't posted for quite some time. I was just curious if I knew him or not, or had talked with him, or had an email, or any of that kind of stuff. And I was like, no, I never have, you know, talked back and forth with him. There's a few people that I've talked back and forth with on YouTube, but he's not one of them. And but then I was scrolling through there, and I was like, yeah, I hadn't seen none of his stuff in a while either, which he did just post something the other day. And then, but I was like, man, I haven't seen Last Best Tool in a long time. I wonder if, like, something's happened or what. But then he's been posting, so it just hadn't been showing it to me. Black ones are striking screwdrivers you're talking about. They're available. HVAC guy, yeah, I watch him. I watch a lot of HVAC. I think it's just because that's what I do the least of, so I like watching it. But I watch any. If I scroll across there, the handyman experience guy, I watch every day just about. He's got something on there. I watch whatever he's done. So he's on there a lot. The original handyman guy, his videos aren't the same as what they used to be, but I watch his usually sometimes if he's got those on there. Things, man, I like how Bezug reviews foreign stuff. Yeah, the Bezug is where I found the ball handle screwdrivers. Was watching one of his videos, and that was the first video I think of his that I ever saw. I hadn't heard of him before. And then soon I saw these. I think I was probably searching ball handle screwdrivers or something like that, and found that and watched it. And then I went and got these, and then I've been subscribed to him ever since that. Cactus Maximus does a lot of tools and their history. Things men cuss me and plot me kind of a turd. Well, she's starting to rain a little bit harder now. I don't know if y'all can hear it or not. Well, I'm probably going to get off here. It's 8 o'clock. I still haven't ate anything since I got home. I'm going to have to go in there and eat something. I'm basically melting away to nothing over here. I'm going to have to, I've been Sour Patch Kid and Little Debbieing it up. Done gained back everything I probably lost originally. The practical vegetarian be more like my adventures in the ER. Thanks for the reminder about my dinner. Yeah, normally I eat as soon as I get home because I don't normally eat like during the work day. I just come home and eat if I get done early. But today I got that dryer thing turned into a lot longer than what I thought it was going to end up being, because I thought it was going to be just me go clean out a dryer or something like that. And then I had to get home and mow before this stuff started happening. We'll see you, Lockhammer. See you, Clint. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get off here. Probably just leave this stuff sitting here until tomorrow morning. Maybe it won't be raining in the morning. I'll get it back in my truck. But we'll see y'all in the next one. Again, remember, no live, most likely, 99.9% sure, no live next Thursday. But I'll try. I can probably maybe do one on Friday or maybe Saturday morning or something like that. But I'll try to do one at the end of the week. But I'll probably do a post. Like once I kind of know, I'll make a post to say, hey, we'll do a live this time, whatever day it might be. But go ahead and get off here. We'll see y'all on the next one.